Yo, it's Herman here. You might notice that the microphone is actually in the frame because I want it to be a little bit closer to me so I don't have to project my voice as much and then get into this whole like presenty mood. People are a little more engaged with the content, but I think for a video like this, it's nice to get a little bit intimate. Deep breath before I begin. So as the title suggests, I'm going to be talking about why I'm starting YouTube in 2021. I basically just want to share my thought process about the entire thing. It's going to be a long and hard endeavor that I've always been putting off. And I kind of want to explain why I've been kind of putting it off and why I'm starting now. And I hope that by sharing my thoughts and what I'm thinking about and what my goals are and what was stopping me, if you're like me and you've always kind of like thought about being a YouTuber, maybe you can kind of see a bit of yourself in me and hopefully inspire you to take that step forward. So the reason that I did not start earlier, even though I've been doing like video production and video editing for like professionally like 8 years or so, was because I never felt ready. And I think that's a common kind of mindset that everyone has before they take on something really big, right? When you step into the unknown, you don't know how it's going to turn out and you never feel really like ready for it. And I think I came to this acceptance that I'm never going to feel ready. And I think that's okay. I think you never have to feel entirely ready before you take a step forward into something that you want to achieve, I guess. I mean, I could have started this years ago, right? I could have started this 2 years ago, 3 years ago, even before I actually started doing this professionally. But I think the reason that I didn't feel ready was because I was lacking experience, so that I didn't really know what I could share to people that, you know, people would be willing to watch. Like, what are people going to take away out of my experience that I lack? I was still in that phase where I was still growing and I was still gathering information and trying to sharpen my craft and focus on that before, you know, feeling like I could actually share something that was worthwhile. So one of the things I was afraid of, like I mentioned, was just not having enough to share. So I felt like even if I did start a YouTube channel and I started putting out like a couple videos, I wouldn't be able to be consistent because I didn't feel like I had enough knowledge to share. You hear about people like going through burnouts and you hear about people like always struggling to come up with like the next like banger video. I just felt like I don't know if I wanted to take on that pressure. I don't know if I could keep developing new ideas. And of course, another thing was financial stability. Financial stability. Yeah, I mean, like YouTube, they'll pay you AdSense and stuff like that, but it's not a lot. Like from what I hear and from the other YouTubers that I know, that's not your main source of income. So you're practically doing videos like this for free, and this stuff takes time. Filmmaking takes time to shoot, edit, write and stuff, and plan, and just put in all the effort to make an effective video. Like, this is stuff that I do for a living, and then now I'm doing it for free. So how am I supposed to support myself and keep doing this if I can't put a roof over my head and feed myself? So that's definitely a really solid fear and doubt that I think anyone would have before they start producing videos and focus on their channel. And finally, I think the biggest fear is failure. Right? You put in all this effort, you decide to take the plunge, you dive into the deep end, and you do this, you know, maybe full time, and you start developing content, and then like you don't get enough views, you don't get enough likes, people don't sub to you, and it's discouraging, right? It's really demoralizing. And I think that I was afraid that that would happen. You know, it would be a waste of time. It's a pop-up that's telling me my battery's dying. Charge your stuff before you shoot. Learn it from me. It's nice because the battery died right when it moves on to the next section. So I've kind of explained what was stopping me before and what's the reason now. Why am I putting out videos now after like so many years of basically people telling me like, hey, you should start a YouTube channel. It would be great if you shared your knowledge and stuff. And, you know, it just seems like you have a great personality for YouTube. You know, you're prolific, you're great at making videos. You've done this for so much time. Like I mentioned, like there's a lot of work that goes behind it. There's a full-on process that eats up a lot of time. When you don't see the reward, it's going to be like discouraging. And so I kind of want to share the mind shift that I had now. A lot of it was that, like I mentioned, that kind of acceptance that you're never going to be ready. As we live, we're also learning. And like it's a constant, never-ending journey of learning and growing, right? So I'm never going to feel ready. I'm never going to get to a point where I'm like, all right, I am the absolute master of my craft. I can finally, confidently share all the knowledge that I have. I think that, you know, putting out YouTube tutorials through my buddy Josh Olufemi's channel has kind of given me a little bit of confidence that whatever knowledge that I have been sharing have been helpful to people. And it's just putting myself in the shoes of other people who used to be like me when I was first starting out and I didn't really know much about After Effects or filmmaking. And, you know, we all start somewhere. So there's always there's like a level of knowledge that I can share that will help people. And it's not going to help like, you know, absolutely everyone, but it's going to help at least, you know, some of the people who are starting out and they want to like upgrade their quality of their videos, or maybe they just want, you know, more techniques under their tool belt so that they can develop their own style. So seeing the success of those YouTube videos have kind of given me some validation that whatever skill set that I've developed over the years can be applicable to other genres of filmmaking, like making YouTube videos. Because I come from a background where I was doing a lot of web commercials, promo videos, and I still did like, you know, I did instructional videos too, which is essentially what tutorials are anyways. And I was in front of camera a lot, so that's why I'm somewhat comfortable in front of camera, although it feels a little bit awkward still, no one around, just talking to myself like a crazy person. But once you overcome that, it becomes a little more natural. And it also, made me realize that making, videos like this will also improve other aspects of filmmaking, like being able to write scripts and you're writing tutorials and stuff like that. And also just being comfortable in front of camera, also improving your presentation abilities, your talking abilities. Like I'm like hella introverted, being able to talk in front of camera and kind of like practice actually like socializing. Okay, you guys as the viewer are people, but like I'm still talking to the camera. Being able to kind of like string my words a little bit better and have that practice is also really helpful. Like there's a lot of skills that you can develop from making videos in general. And also in like the past, I think like 4 years or so, 3 or 4 years, it's been a while now, there's been this uprising of people who used to be in the magic community, which is the niche that I'm in, and the types of videos that I've been producing for the past however many years. People like Peter McKinnon, Chris Ramsey, Andre Jick, like they used to produce videos like I was for a magic company, and they were very prolific, and then they moved on to YouTube. They have this big personality. It's just seeing the success where they have like millions of subscribers now, which is absolutely insane. Is it like a prophecy where if you've worked in a magic company before, you have more of a likelihood to succeed in being a YouTuber? What do they have in common that I don't? That's right. They are way more laser focused on creating YouTube content than I am. So this is where I begin, hopefully. And to address some of the doubts that I explained earlier that I'm planning to overcome, one of them is not having enough to share, which I kind of mentioned, we're always growing, we're always learning. So there's always some kind of knowledge that we can share. It could even be something that I just learned yesterday, like I read from a book or I watched a tutorial from, and I just want to share my take on it. There's always going to be something. And putting out tutorials with Josh as well has given me this mindset as well, that there's always something that you can share with your audience. So that's helped me overcome this kind of mental block of feeling like, oh, there's never anything that I can really share. Like I'm not even that great. Like what do people want to see from me? Now actually seeing some of the stuff that I have put out that have helped other people, it's just like, oh, I guess there are some stuff that are worth sharing. And of course, financial stability is like a really big problem, because if you can't survive, especially in the place I'm living in, which is Vancouver, one of the most expensive cities in the world, then how am I going to be able to, produce videos like this for free for you guys? Half the time I'm actually starting to take some freelance gigs, which allow me a bit of flexibility so that I can have some time that I budget specifically so that I can create YouTube content, not only for Josh's channel, but now my own channel, hopefully. And I think the more opportunities that I have that will kind of sustain my lifestyle will also allow me to create more consistent content on my own channel. So that's something that I'm also afraid of, the inconsistency, because YouTube's algorithm really favors people who can be consistent with their content. If you keep like, posting like daily, that would be ideal, right? Because you're always in your subscribers' faces, so they don't forget about you. I'm hoping that someone, a friend pointed out that I think people are more aware of creative burnout. There was this phase where a lot of YouTubers were saying like, hey, they're feeling burnt out, they don't know if they should continue, or like they're doing daily vlogs and they're like, man, this like kind of sucks now. Like it feels like a job basically, and it's really taxing on their lifestyle. And I'm hoping that because of that, people are a little more empathetic in terms of not being able to just post things and entertain them and educate them like every day, or like even once a week feels like a lot to me. But I would like to do like once a week, but I think that practically speaking, as I start, I'm probably going to be posting like once a month. And the way that I approach the videos is that I always want to deliver like valuable content. I don't want to post just for the sake of just for consistency, because then that dumbs down the quality and I'm compromising quality, and you're always going to compromise something. But I don't want it to feel like, you watch a video from me and you feel empty after watching it. It's like, what the hell did I just watch? I just like wasted 20 minutes of my life. So I want to really make sure that I uphold that quality. I don't remember how I diverged from the main point, which was, I think, like being financially stable. But yeah, basically taking some freelance gigs, giving me some flexibility so that I can start doing this now, and then hopefully build an audience where I can, take sponsorships or like, have affiliate links down below where that can be passive income or other sources of income that can support what I do. And in terms of failure, like I think it's an acceptance that as a creator or anyone who's growing in their craft, you have to fail. It doesn't matter what you do. You've got to fail not just once, like multiple times. You're going to keep failing at something. You're going to keep making mistakes, and it's okay as long as I don't make like a really big failure. And little failures along the way is the only way that you can grow from experience. Of course, I'm going to, research and like look at other people and learn from their mistakes so I can avoid making too many of my own. But at the same time, I still need to fall, during my journey. But as long as I fall forward and take those failures and use them as lessons to learn what I can do better the next time. And I think that's just honestly like a constant journey of life, making mistakes, occasionally get a win, try and keep growing, learning, and be happy. So what I'm hoping to achieve while starting this channel is that I can kind of basically grow a voice. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but like basically build on my own personal brand image, I guess. So myself as a creator, because I've always been known as like the art director or the video guy behind this company called Sansminds, which is a magic trick company that I've been working for. I don't want to be that for the rest of my life. So I want to build this identity for myself, I guess, as a creator, because I think that I have enough experience where I've developed kind of my own style, and I want to share that with the world. I want to help other people or other creators find their own voice as well, or inspire them, or at least, you know, have them watch someone who used to be like them finally get to a point where they're more recognized for the work that they do. And how I do that is by basically building this image for myself. And it's nice to have that control, you know, over your own identity and how you're being viewed. I mean, you can't technically do that, right? People are going to perceive you however they want to perceive you, but I want to at least kind of shape my own identity for myself, you know, and have a little more control over my creative life. And another goal of mine is to niche down. And what I mean by that is because I've been an art director, like that's my official title for the company that I work for. And basically what that means is I'm like a generalist. I just produce videos, but I do like literally everything. Like I'm producing it, I'm directing it, I'm shooting it, I'm editing it. There is a team, but it's in Asia. So most of the stuff I'm just doing it all by myself. So that means I have a wide range of skill sets, which is awesome, but I'm just okay at everything. I'm trying to find this way where I can specialize in something. And I always have this passion towards, using post-production to help polish up my videos and make it very stylistic and creative. And I'm using this platform to kind of figure out what it is that I am truly passionate about and what I would love to keep doing for the rest of my life. Because through a process of elimination, I don't like doing long form content. Like I don't plan to do like this narrative film that's like feature length or anything like that. That's not my goal. I know a lot of people who go out of film school and stuff like that, they really want to be like the next Spielberg or the next Tarantino or whatever it is. And for me, I just want to make dope videos. I want to make like cool stylistic music videos, commercials, short form content. So I think that's kind of what my specialty has become. I also have like this futuristic edge. So far I've kind of figured it out. Like I've narrowed it down, but through YouTube, I'm hoping that I can narrow it down even more, because I think that the next phase as a creator when you're growing is to specialize and not be a generalist anymore. Because when you're first learning, it's great to be a generalist. It's great to acquire a lot of different skills so that you know how each role plays a really important part in delivering your final product. But eventually you want to be a specialist so that people come to you for a very specific need and then you become more valuable. So that's another goal of mine as I continue to grow this channel. And like I said before, another goal of mine is basically to continue learning and growing. Each time I am putting out a tutorial or I'm sharing my thoughts and stuff like that, as I mentioned, like life, you're just always growing and learning. That's just how it is. And it'll never stop. It's an ongoing, endless journey. I think that by using YouTube and sharing my knowledge, I am also learning more about myself and also learning more efficiently, or having whatever knowledge that I have a little more concrete. I read this book called Pocket Full of Dough by Chris Do. He's a guy that I super admire because of the things that he shares. And there was this chapter where he basically said, I'm just paraphrasing, so I'm sorry if I butcher this, but basically the best way to learn is to teach. You know what, I'm gonna look it up. I posted on my story the other day, so I want to do him justice. I don't want to be that guy that just like quotes things wrong. The best way to learn is to teach. Yes, I was right. And basically what that means is that when you're absorbing knowledge, like it can just like go in one ear and pass out the other, and you don't really absorb anything. But when you're reading and when you're learning with the intention of actually teaching someone, then you kind of internalize it a little bit better. Like it becomes a little more concrete. You start paying attention a little more to what you're actually reading or learning, because you might highlight certain things, you might circle certain things, or like pay attention a little more if you know that you're going to be sharing this knowledge with other people. So having that mindset helps me keep creating, educational content for people that want to expand their knowledge. And then at the same time, it's helping me solidify the things that I already know. And also, even putting out videos like this where I'm talking about my journey on YouTube and why I'm starting, like I'm learning a little more about myself and what my goals are, because it always feels like it's this beehive in my head and it's just like super jumbled and all these ideas are just flying everywhere and I can never really make sense of it and I don't have this clear direction. That's why I've always kept things really vague for like a large portion of my life, because I don't know just where I'm really headed and what the future holds. But being able to kind of talk through it and put it in this video format and contain it, it becomes a little more laser focused so that I can at least increase my chances of being more successful. And another goal of mine is to, of course, help and inspire other people. I've learned a lot of the stuff that I know now and that I'm sharing because of other YouTubers and other people who are sharing their knowledge in filmmaking or video editing or VFX or motion graphics, like whatever skill set that I have, a lot of it attributes to YouTubers seeing, their behind the scenes content or their tutorials. Like that's how I acquired a lot of what I know. Although I did go to film school, like I took away, enough knowledge, but it didn't feel like it really kind of pushed me in the right direction. A lot of that had to do with just being self-motivated and then just looking for resources where there's like so many resources out online right now. And I want to be a part of that. I want to contribute to that so that I can help people the same way that others have helped me and just be a part of this community. That's how we all grow as creators. We're a very sharing community, I think, right? And just from putting out tutorials through the Olufemi channel, Josh's channel, I get DMs from people who are like, hey, Herman, you've inspired me to, start editing, to start, VFX, to start After Effects. They've always felt it was a little bit intimidating, but now just seeing the way that, things I'm able to accomplish and also the way that I'm able to share my knowledge, it's easier for them now to learn. Messages like that are always very uplifting, and there's no feeling in the world that can really compare to that. So it's awesome knowing that I can help other people the same way that others have helped me. And I want to keep doing that. I want to use this platform as a way to keep sharing my knowledge and also have someone that they can kind of follow the journey of, for someone who hasn't really believed in himself for a little while because I never felt like I had enough to share, and then see that I can finally take that step forward despite all the doubts that I have to achieve the thing that I dream of, which is helping more people, building an audience, building a community, overall just contributing to humankind in some sort of positive way with the skill sets and the things that I enjoy doing. The last goal that I really have, last but not least, the thing that I really want is freedom. Freedom and control of my own content, I guess, or creation as an artist. I think that every artist, they dream of just doing whatever they imagine. We have this ambitious project that we have, this idea, and we want it to come to fruition. Is it fruition? Not sure which one's the right word, but I think you understand what I'm trying to say. And there's always going to be constraints that hold you back from doing stuff like that, because if you want to do those passion projects or do those crazy ideas, the only way you can really do it is if you set aside time to do it for free, or by investing your own money into it. And it becomes hard because life gets in the way. You gotta pay for the food that you eat. You gotta put a roof over your head and stuff. So you can't always keep doing projects like that. Or you somehow integrate those ideas into your client work. And when you do that, at the end of the day, they're the boss. They're the ones paying you. So you're gonna have to compromise, and it's not gonna, probably turn out the same way that you envisioned. And that sucks. So I'm hoping that by making a YouTube channel and putting out stuff like this, it can encourage me to, follow my passion projects and actually work on those and, just basically have fun and learn to enjoy what I'm doing again, because, doing client work can really suck the soul out of you if you've done it for a while. And as I build my audience, then hopefully financially, if I get sponsorships and stuff like that, and this actually becomes a solid form of income, I have no idea if that's going to actually work out. And I don't have that strong expectation, because I don't think anyone should ever be a YouTuber for the money. But if I were to get there, then that would mean having that freedom where I can start doing more of what I actually have more creative control over, and I don't have to worry about the feedback of a client or pleasing other people. As an audience, I'll need to please the people who believe in me and follow me and watch my stuff, but at the same time, I still get the final call in terms of what I want to put out. And that to me is really valuable, because that's freedom that I'm sure all creators would love to have. So yeah, that's pretty much my thought process. Don't know how coherent any of that was. I'm pretty sure I repeated myself a few times, but I'm just gonna let future Herman figure out the whole edit and trim it down, sort of, I guess. I don't know. That's the power of video editing. And right now I'm sitting at I think 4K subscribers on my YouTube. And honestly, I think 3,000 of those are following me from my piano videos that I used to put out. I was already on my own channel putting out piano covers and stuff like that, and people enjoyed that, and they're probably confused as now, thinking who is this guy? I haven't seen his face before. I've always seen his hands, and then now he's talking about filmmaking. What? Who am I subscribed to? I'm sorry to disappoint you. I'm probably not going to be putting out any more piano videos. I don't practice this regularly anymore. Honestly, in terms of filmmaking, even consistency, I don't know how consistent I'm going to be with it, but I think the most important thing is that I am just starting, because it's just inevitable. I'm going to make videos They're going to be absolute garbage, and I'm going to look back and I'm going to cringe at them just the same way that when I look at my past videos that have been uploaded before, not on this channel, but like just work stuff, and just cringe at them. It just shows that I'm going to be growing. I'm going to not know what I'm doing at all because there's no instruction manual for me to, succeed in a YouTube channel, but that's okay as well. Because the longer that I do this, I think the better that I'll be. At least that's what I hope. And you guys can join along the ride and see the journey of this person who doesn't really exactly know what he's doing. Hopefully, take the right steps forward into something into greatness, into something that I achieve that I think that I can really benefit from, and you guys can benefit from as well. And you guys are going to be right with me along for the ride. Yeah, that's it. I'm not going to tell you to like sub and comment and like stuff like that. No, man, I gotta get over that hurdle too. I feel like gross when I say stuff like that. I can do it. So, till the next video. See you guys next time.